Hey y'all, hey! Welcome back to my channel. If you have not seen with the title of this video, we are tapping into the different types of doulas. But before we start, if you are new, my name is Larry Chantrice. I am a birth and postpartum doula, breastfeeding counselor, amongst many other things. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so every time I drop a video, you are notified. All right, let's get into it. We are going to talk about all the different types of doulas that I mentioned in my previous video. What is a doula? If you have not caught that video, please pause this one, go check that one out, and meet me back here when you're done. All right? All right, let's move forward. Now let's hop right into it. The first doula is a fertility doula. A fertility doula offers support during the preconception period with evidence-based information through IVF or after a loss or miscarriage, including charting, tracking fertility, and holistic resources along the way. Now let's get into the price range for a fertility doula. You're looking to spend about $200 to $500 a month if you are on the monthly package, or looking to spend about $500 plus for a package total. So you have two different options, which is really great. Some people like the month to month, depending on how long you're planning on trying. Some people like a flat package, which usually have set amount of days and months that's already calculated into the price, so you don't have to worry about a month to month. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of a fertility doula. Now I couldn't find too many cons when it came to a fertility doula, besides two. And they kind of go hand in hand. Those two are not conceiving and feeling like you waste your money. I feel like typically those go hand in hand. If you don't conceive, sometimes you feel like you wasted your money because the outcome wasn't what you thought. The pros of a fertility doula. The fertility doula, you maximize your chances of fertility and getting pregnant. You gain peace of mind, and you also lower your stress levels when going through the conceiving process. Let's move on to the next type of doula. The next type of doula that we're going to talk about is antepartum doula. An antepartum doula is someone who provides professional support to families that are experiencing difficult pregnancies where mother has been directed to be on bed rest or have other limiting variables. Now let's talk about the cost. The cost for an antepartum doula, let's keep in mind, depending on where you are located and the experience of the doula, ranges from about $800 to $2,500, and that's usually a package for hours and days that they would be at your home helping out and servicing you. Now, when it comes to pros and cons, I couldn't think as an antepartum doula myself of any cons outside of, again, the price that you probably will pay for the amount of hours that you do receive. Now, I will say that they are fairly priced hourly. You're looking about $25 to $45, just depending on, again, the area that you are in and the experience that the doula has. Pros, again, if you are bedridden and you can't do too much, it is very helpful to have someone there, someone to help you with your children or help you take them to and from school. Make sure that you and baby are getting the nutrients that you guys need, and just keeping things tidy around the home and just giving you peace of mind and encouragement through this process of being on bed rest. Let's move forward. All right, our next doula type would be a birth doula. A birth doula supports and educates parents on advocacy through pregnancy and childbirth, and also educate and support moms emotionally, physically, and also with nutrition throughout their pregnancy. If you have not caught my first video giving you the baseline definition of what a doula is, please stop right here and go check it out, all right? No matter what type of doula that I'm talking about, that definition that I gave you in our first video is the same throughout all these different types of doulas that I'm going a little bit deeper into, okay? Let's talk about the price point for a birth doula. The price point for a birth doula is about $1,200 to $8,000, depending on location and what experience of your doula, okay? And also depending on what they offer in their packages. Some doulas offer a flat rate. Some doulas offer little other things in there to kind of cater to the parents. So take those things into account when you're looking at price points and packages. Pros and cons for a birth doula. For pros, you have ongoing support, less chance of postpartum depression and medical interventions. For cons, you have lack of effective communication. Your doula doesn't make it to your birth. You still have a long birth and your doula leaves or calls in a backup, which then in turn, she misses your birth. Now, I get a few specific questions about what would it really look like for me to hire a birth doula? How can they truly serve me throughout this journey of mine? Well, I have a few pinpoints that I wanted to touch on, hopefully that answers some of your questions that I typically get. What does having a doula look like if I am scheduled to have a C-section or I have an emergency C-section? Although they're the same type of procedure, there's two different setups. So if you are scheduled for a C-section, your birth doula will meet you at the hospital, go over any last question that you may have. I know things have been crazy the past few years, and doulas have been kind of limited when it comes to the hospital and the support that we're able to give moms who encounter a C-section. Depending on where you are located, your doula actually might be able to go back there alongside your husband to support and encourage you through this process. In the event that she is not able to go back there, typically they have to wait 2 hours before they can come back there to your postpartum room. If you go back for an emergency C-section, the same things kind of apply, but by that time she's already there. And so prepping you and your husband to get ready for the C-section, she would then, of course, answer any questions or concerns that you may have. Again, depending on where you are, she may or may not be able to go back there. Because it is a true emergency, usually they will probably only allow your husband back there. What would it look like having a doula if I go in for an induction? Typically, if you go in for an induction, the doulas usually wait still around the 411-511 time frame before coming to the hospital to support you. If you are not sure what the 411-511 time frame is, let me break it down for you. The 4 and the 5 is interchangeable, okay? Some moms never make it to 5, they go straight to 4. Some moms do make it to 5, but skip over 4 and go straight to 3. So the 4 and the 5 are safe numbers that we typically say either or. Okay, so let's go over it again. Contractions are spaced out 4 minutes apart. Each contraction, when they come every 4 minutes, are lasting for 1 minute over the time span of 1 hour. So what you're looking at is contraction at 4:04, a contraction happens. It lasts until about 4:05. Then around 4:09, a contraction happens. It lasts until 4:10. That will continue until you get to about 5:04, which would have been a total hour where your contractions have been consistent consecutively for 4 minutes. Each contraction 1 minute long. I hope that helped you guys. Same thing with 5. So instead of the 4, you would change it to 5s. Whether you're laboring at home for a hospital birth, or laboring at home for a birthing center, or laboring at home for a home birth, that is typically the rule of thumb that most doulas use, okay? So in the event that you do have an induction, you would go into the induction and the hospital would then become your home, and you will labor at the hospital like you would at home. The only difference is they're augmenting your labor, so they're causing it to start a little sooner than your body was planning on having it to start. So you're needing a little push or a boost to get things going. Once your contractions get to that 411 or 511, that's typically when you call your doula, and she will be on her way to come see you, and she will help you out through that support, whatever you guys have agreed on in your contract. What if I go into labor early? How can my doula assist me? So hopefully you sign with someone who has something stated in their contract what their support will look like if you do go into labor early. I hope this answered most of your questions when it comes to doulas and what that looks like. Please comment down below if I missed any questions, or if there's some questions that you want me to go more in detail about when it comes to hiring and looking for a doula and what it should look like or what you should expect. All right, let's move forward. The next doula we have is a postpartum doula. A postpartum doula is a person who supports parents after childbirth through postpartum, which is usually up to 6 months after birth. Now, although I stated 6 months after birth, that does not mean that if your baby is 6 months, you can't hire a postpartum doula. That also does not mean that postpartum will usually stop at the 6-month mark. Now, let's talk about cost. So postpartum doulas usually range for about $900 to $5,000, if not more, depending on what? Yes, location, and experience, okay? And if we're breaking it down hourly, that is typically $25 to $75 an hour for your doula. Now let's talk about pros and cons of a postpartum doula. The pros are you receive better postpartum recovery for both parents. You also build your confidence for new parents when learning all things parenthood and newborn baby. You also lessen your chances of postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. Now cons. Still don't have too many cons. when it comes to postpartum doula. The two that I was able to come up with would be the price and the availability that your doula have when it's time to start serving you. I also get questions when it comes to postpartum doulas and what does that support looks like. I wanted to go down a quick list of things that postpartum doulas typically offer for clients. Postpartum doulas typically offer light house cleaning. Sometimes what that looks like, loading the dishwasher, washing baby bottles, laundry for baby, maybe sweeping and mopping, wiping down hard surfaces, dusting, and different things such as that. They also will offer newborn baby care, so teaching you how to swaddle, teaching you how to effectively breastfeed or bottle feed or transition from the breast to the bottle and such. The next things doula would typically do is prepare meals for you, whether that's just warming up meals that you have already prepared and frozen for a postpartum period, or making fresh batches of food for you and your family. They are also there to listen, encourage, and educate you on any question that you may have, also providing informational support and resources. If your doula is certified, they may offer belly binding. They may also help you with lactation as well. I hope that answers what a postpartum does and can offer you, and I hope this helps you with your deciding factor of whether or not a postpartum doula will be beneficial to you. Now let's move forward. Next is bereavement doula. A bereavement doula is a person who offers extra care and emotional support during and after death of child to navigate grief and help parents through their healing process. Now let's talk about costs. The average cost for a bereavement doula is about $25 to $100 an hour. Now let's go into pros and cons. Like I stated before, there's not too many cons when it comes to having a bereavement doula. That is a very hard time for parents to go through. So having extra people in your corner to support you through that time is very beneficial, not only to the parents, but the other loved ones around you. Our last and final doula is adoption doula. An adoption doula provides help to either or both sides of adoption with resources, extra emotional support, and possibly physical support. Let's talk about the cost for an adoption doula. The cost for an adoption doula is typically $500 and up. It depends on your location and the experience that your doula has. Now, pros and cons. Again, not too many pros or cons in this situation. It is always great to have extra people there to support you and encourage you through this process. All right, guys, that was everything for today. I hope I answered your questions on the different types of doulas. I hope this helps, guys. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so every time I drop a video, you are notified. All right, see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Bye.